Hello everyone, King here again, back for another video. In this video, I'm going to talk about, there seems to be a theme, and I promise to change it up as time goes on. Excuse me. But, this video I'm going to talk about, as the title says, family and land. But in my experience with family and land, again, I'm not talking about, in some cases, I can talk about, my immediate family as well as extended family. It could be any family member, family and land, right? Just like in the previous video, I talked about money, business, and family don't mix unless members of family are on the same sheet of music. They understand money, respect money, understands the value of money, knows how to utilize money, leverage money, as well as business. So if you're not on the same sheet of music, whatever family member that you are, dealing with, right, as far as money and business, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be successful, because it's not about emotions and feelings, and sometimes emotions and feelings and being family can get in the way of trying to do things right, difference of opinions, the whole 9 yards, right? Everybody's not going to agree. You can't please everybody when it comes to money and business, and more so now, and for this video, land. Again, your family, whether it's your parents, mom, dad, siblings, sister, brother, cousins, niece, nephews, grandparents, whoever, if not on the same sheet of music, if you don't understand, they don't understand the value of land, how to utilize land, how to leverage land, how to take care of land, how to manage land, property, right? Property, just like your home is your property, your car, and other assets that you have acquired, or family has acquired, whatever. If that is not taken care of, there's negative consequences, right? Things are going to happen, right? If things are not taken care of, things could be taken away or lost, destroyed, or whatever the case may be, stolen, because you, family, whoever, didn't pay attention, didn't take care of their business. Again, feelings and emotions, everything aside, take care of business. Whether your family, whatever position you hold within your nucleus, your family nucleus, again, whether you're your parent's child, you're a parent, you're the child, or you're the sibling, or you're the cousin, or you're the nephew, or you're the grandson, granddaughter, whatever. But it's just about business, taking care of business. Because if you don't take care of your business, if your family doesn't take care of business, someone's gonna take care of it for you. Whether it be the courts, whether it be the state, or whatever. Especially if you pass away. If you pass away, or your loved one pass away, a family member pass away, and their affairs not in order, that could be, resolved by the courts. You probate, or there's going to be some kind of legal action required, taken to resolve, the family member's estate, because they failed to have a living will, naming who their heirs are, who should get their assets, who should get the house, who should get the car, who should get the money, or whatever the case may be. Again, all feelings aside, all emotions aside, this is business. And when it comes to family, it makes it very difficult to have those conversations, but to deal with that. And you don't want to deal with it when you're dead, or when your family member is dead. Whoever is an owner of said property, land, house, car, bank account, whatever. If you don't have a will, they don't have a will. The courts can decide for you who's going to get what, what's going to happen to the assets, to the land, to the house, to the car. So it's best that everybody just just deal with it, get it done, get a will, get whatever documents you need, legal documents you need to, resolve. I won't say resolve, but deal with those topics. Deal with the conversation of having these assets and how to take care of them. But I digress. So again, in this video, I'm talking about family and land and my experience with dealing with family and land. So recently, I acquired my mother's land. It was in her name for say 40 years. I'm 45, so over 40 years, the land was in her name. She bought this land in the 70s, way before I was born. She had bought 3 tracts of land and sold 2 of the tracts of land to her brothers, 2 of her brothers. So she had 3 tracts of land, but she held on to the biggest tract of land and sold the other 2 tracts of land to her brothers, 2 of her brothers. So they're pretty much neighbors, right? Some of the brothers and her shared property borders, right? Anyway, so again, a few years ago, I filed for a deed to the property. So she transferred the title of the property, deed to property in my name, but she still owned it. I owned it on paper, but it was her property, and I was not gonna, steal land from my mother, right? And I'm helping the taxes on it. She's been paying taxes on it all these years. So I intervened to help manage her property. It's a property that was undeveloped, so it was not prepped to build a home or to put a house or prepare to build a house on it. So it was basically trees and brush and overgrowth, and it wasn't kept up, it wasn't managed. It's just land, right? Undeveloped land. But her brother's property has been cleared and have homes on it. But anyway, so years prior to me doing this quitclaim deed, my sister, while I was overseas in the Air Force, still serving the Air Force, but overseas, we had a conversation about our mother's land, and so we decided that we will have her land surveyed. So my sister found some people, a company that will survey the land. They surveyed the land, and it was discovered that one of her brothers was trespassing her property, encroaching her property, was over the property line. So, nothing was done. I believe my mother was notified, was informed of it. I didn't know about it really at the time. It was something I was paying attention to, that I was focused on, because I was, again, living overseas, stationed overseas in the Air Force. I was, doing my job, so I didn't really have time to focus on what was going on back home. Not until I came home. Excuse me. So, again, fast forward now to a few years ago when I had the quitclaim deed, and I seen the original survey documents that was done years prior, and saw that, over the line, saw it firsthand. Didn't deal with it right then and there, because my mother said she would deal with it. Okay, well, that didn't happen. So when I got the deed in my name, I decided to do something about it. Had it surveyed again to make sure that it was right, it was accurate, documented the trespassing and encroaching on the property, building over the property line, moving the stakes, had all that documented in a survey. So I had the surveyors document how far over the line, the different areas, and so in turn, instead of going through taking legal action against her brother or causing any further division, drama, and family issues, I asked the lawyer that I was dealing with, how do we deal with this? How do we deal with this? Well, Cliff, here's how to make it happen. Here's how to make it right. You can do this, that, third. Someone should what? I said, okay, let's just go ahead and do that. Let's just transfer a portion of the property, my mother's property, that her brother was trespassing on. Let's just give him that piece of the property, free of charge. You know, she should have been compensated, but she wasn't. Whatever. Let's just not make it matters worse, right? Okay. So transfer that part of the property over to him. New property line was drawn up to show what property is his and what property is my mother's, or now in my name, right? Okay. This was, a few years ago, 2018, 19. Now it's 2021. Well, last year, again, some family issues that have arose that came up, and so a shed was placed on her property, on her brother's property, but this time it was over the line again, over the line, like 3 feet, like 2.9 feet. So I had a survey come out, document the trespassing, encroaching on my mother's property, and have a lawyer send a letter to cease and desist from trespassing, encroaching on the property, and have the the shed moved off the property per county guidelines, which has to be like 5 feet, right? 5-6 feet from the property line. And also to remove any other miscellaneous personal property effects, whatever you can call it, that's on the property. That was all in the letter to my mother's brother from my lawyer that I hired to deal with this. Long story short, it's unfortunate that, family and land, granted my mother, spent 20 years in the military, and, she didn't have the time to manage her property, to focus on her property, but that does not give anybody the right, especially family, the right to trespass and encroaching on the property. Regardless of what the circumstances were, regardless of whatever excuses, thoughts, feelings on the subject, the law is the law. Rules are rules and laws are laws. Again, as I said before, sometimes there is nothing in black and white to deal with family. Maybe there are some laws on the books or rules on the books to deal with family when it comes to disputes against family and whatever's going on, right? You can say that there's rules and laws in the books according to God, right? God's rules and laws, the Bible, the commandments, all that's there. Now, I don't pretend to be a religious man, a man of God, a child of God. I'm not gonna fake the funk and say that my relationship with God is strong and needs to. I don't have a strong relationship with God. And I don't say that to say that I don't believe in God. I do because my parents, my family believe in God, but my faith is not as strong as their faith. They grew up around that stuff. I didn't do it so much, but doesn't mean that I don't believe in a higher being, a higher power. But I'm not going to sit there and pretend that I'm this righteous person, godly person, and I'm not going to do that. But at an early age, I knew of the commandments. And a lot of people probably knew the commandments. They know the Bible better than I do. So, if people are not going to follow the rules and laws, man's rules and laws, are they going to follow? How are they going to follow God's rules and laws? By trespassing against thy neighbor or trespassing against thy family member, right? How are you going to trespass and encroach on family's property that you don't own, and you don't own it, but yet you're building on the property, you're putting personal effects on the property, and then when I take action to deal with it, I'm the bad guy. Me and my mother are wrong for this and wrong for that, getting other members of the family in our business, telling them this and that, telling them that, and they have no business with it. And you know, I have the right to protect my interests, my mother's interests, and my sister's interests, my siblings' interests, and whatever interests they have. You know, if they have interests in property, my mother's property, I'm going to protect my mother's interest in her property. I'm going to protect her property. She has the right to protect her property, and no one should come there and try to take her property from her or encroach on her property, trespass on her property, and then have the the notion, the mindset that, well, she wasn't going to live on it, she wasn't going to build on it. Why y'all being petty? Why y'all doing that? That's irrelevant. You know, even if I never, or my mother never decided to build on her property, to live on her property, it's her right to do what she wants with her property. You know, and that's one thing too. You know, she's been away from her home where she grew up, born and raised, because she joined the military. Because she left after high school, went to work. Years later, joined the military, joined the army, served the country for 20 plus years. Worked for the army as a government civilian, government worker, 20 plus years. Retired. Not once, but twice, but 3 times now. So she's paid her dues. She's done what she had to do. She lived her life. She's living her life. And no one should come and take her property from her. No one. Regardless of family. I don't care what position family that position is in. I don't care. You know, it's not right. It's not right. And there's laws in the books, there's rules in the books to protect people from this happening, even in family. But there's also laws in the books that people can use to acquire land through way of use. So if a person uses land long enough, they can claim adverse possession. They can claim squatters' rights to said property. So, you know, 10, 15, 20 years have gone by. Even if my mother was living where she was living and didn't know that somebody had built on her property or placed a shed on her property or did something, that person, whoever placed it, can claim squatters' rights or adverse possession, saying that, well, they knew I was there, or no one ever told me, or no one ever approached me. I was not served any kind of, you know, legal documentation, letter or whatever, to cease and desist, to remove my property from there, and so they can go to court and acquire that land. Even if they didn't own it, and even if the person that did own it was paying taxes on it for 10, 15, 20 years, like my mother has done. You know? And I tell you this, I say this to say that take care of your business, your family's business, your parents' business, your business. If you have land, money, assets, property, whatever, take care of it. This is my experience dealing with family and land. Now, before, I was not aware of this. I was not aware that, you know, fully aware that my mother had land. I heard the stories of it, and when I came home and I started to ask more questions and actually look at the documentation, the research, and the information, and talk to my mother and talk to her brother and get the information, I realized that this ain't right. So, and I handle it the best way possible without causing any kind of division, drama, and bringing other family members into it. But as of now, you know, again, me and my mother are being treated like we're the outsiders. How dare we do this? Why are we doing this? Now we're being petty, and this is getting out of hand, and people are gonna get hurt. Someone's gonna get hurt over this. I'm like, you know, it's just crazy that trying to take the legal route to resolve, you know, issues, right? Like of trespassing and encroaching on property, which it is a family issue, but it is a legal issue too. So there's no right answer to it. Yeah, we can talk and have conversations, but what is that going to prove if other members of the family feel like they've been slighted or being disrespected or being attacked or being wronged, but yet that's my mother's land. So how is it wrong for me to take it to you know, go to the legal route to resolve it, But family breaking the rules, breaking the law, we should turn a blind eye to it. We should be okay with that. I should be okay with that because they're family. Family should not be taking advantage of family. As I said before in my other video, there's no reason for it. There's no reason to be dishonest, deceitful, to take advantage of family, take advantage of your relationship to your family member, your kinship. If family really cared about family, if family really loved family, right? This is not about money, power, and greed. It's not about that. It's about right and wrong, doing what's right. So, you know, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. You know, and it's crazy that this has to happen. That we can't sit down there, can't sit down and have, you know, adult-like conversations, mature conversations, respectable conversations to resolve these issues without, again, feelings and emotions, right? Thinking that, oh, you wronged me or you wronged this, and you know, how dare you, how dare, or even, you know, calling me and my mother out of our names, attacking our character, dragging our reputation through the mud, telling other members of the family our business, and then them coming to me or my mother and saying, why are we doing this? Why are we acting like this? Excuse me? First of all, it's none of your business, to be honest. It's none of your business. And everybody got something to say, but yet, if it was you and your business, you and your property, how would you respond? And I've seen how people respond. It's been not very pretty. People show their true colors. I've not shown my true colors. I've not been disrespectful. I haven't called anybody out of their name. I haven't disrespected members of my family. You know? Let's be clear on this. This is, to me, you know, this is not really personal. This is about business. This is business. I'm not making it personal. I'm handling business. Because if it wasn't me, you know, somebody else, say for instance, if, and I don't like this what ifs, I don't care for what ifs, but just for the sake of conversation, what if my mother didn't own that land and somebody else, or she sold that land to somebody else, right, to a stranger, and it was well documented that there was people trespassing on the property. So how would that person that now owns the property that my mother had owned deal with that? He or she will have to deal with the trespassing and encroaching on the property. So how will they respond then? Will that person be viewed as being petty? Well, I've been doing it for all these years and no one ever said anything. I guarantee that person, that new landowner, would not take kindly to that. There's laws in the books, there's rules in the books for a reason. To protect people's interests, to protect people's rights. Especially if you're paying for something, you know, and you own it, right? If you have your house, you're not going to let these people walk into your house and take what they want from you. You're not going to allow these people, you know, a stranger to come place park their vehicle on your driveway. Like, why would that, what? That would make no sense. Essentially, that's what's going on. So, again, family land, this is my experience. Not all people are going to experience what I experience, which is understandable, right? But you've got to be mindful. We all should be mindful of how to deal with family and land. There should be understanding, because, you know, if you can't come to some kind of agreement or understanding, the only way to resolve it is through the court. It's not going to be very pretty. But no one should be taking advantage, no family member should take advantage of no family member, especially their property. Property that's not owned by a member of the family, your member of the family. Again, whatever position you hold doesn't matter. There's right ways of doing things and wrong ways of doing things, and taking advantage of a family member because he or she or they are not there to pay attention to what's going on is not right. And, you know, it should never happen. But me drawing attention to it, me bringing it to the light, me taking legal action to resolve it, if that makes me the bad person, then so be that. You know, if it makes me the bad person, then so be it. But, you know, I would rather not jeopardize family relationships, cause division and drama amongst family, destroy family relationships because of land, because of whatever agenda, motives, excuses, or whatever. To me, is not that important. But at the same time, right is right, and wrong is wrong. And I try to deal with it the best way I could. The first time, right? We had conversations, talked about it. Talked to my mother, talked to her brother, talked to my lawyer, how to best resolve this. And I was given legal guidance on how to resolve it. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to do this, this, and this, and this. That was fine. It was fine then, until things to family relationships were splintered and caused further division and drama. And family think they can just do what they want, to say what they want, to be disrespectful, to be uncooperative, to not listen. Again, emotions and feelings, right? No one wants to be wrong. Everyone wants to be right. But when there's documentation that proves what's right, that proves what was said, and what was done wrong, you know, I understand that. You know, we all have egos. We're human. We all have feelings. And no one wants to be called out. No one wants to be called out, and to have their business aired out like that, or for them to lose face, to be embarrassed because they got to admit their faults, admit their transgressions, or admit that's fine, you know. But as a man, woman, a grown man and grown woman, as an adult, we got to take responsibility for our actions. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You know, family and land. Again, if you don't take care of it, if you have lands, the court's going to take care of it for you. Or there's, you know, somebody who is licensed or represents the courts, a lawyer, judge, are going to make the decision for you. You can't decide for yourself. If you can't resolve your issues by yourself. In some cases, there is no, you know, talking. Let the lawyers do it. Let the judges work. You know, it's unfortunate that we have to, you know, these lawyers and judges exist, but they're here for a reason. If I could do it over again, I thought about many times that I would go study law, because there's always going to be a disagreement. Just like there's always going to be a need for, you know, doctors and nurses and hospitals, and, you know, because people get sick, things happen, right? You got to pay for somebody to sew you back up, get you well again, right? It's the same thing. Lawyers and judges exist for a reason, because we got to pay for somebody to defend us in court from the law, from receiving speeding tickets, from trespassing to encroaching to family issues, child custody issues, divorces. I mean, you name it. Everybody doesn't want to follow the rules and follow laws, so there's a need for lawyers and judges and the court system, the law. Again, not everything's in black and white when it comes to family, but There's rules and laws in the books for a reason to deal with that. And it's, you know, so again, family and land. If you have land, your family has land, and your parents have land, and they share it with their siblings or whatever case might be, take care of your business. Take care of business. Sit down and have that conversation. Do not allow it to fester. Don't allow it to, you know, emotions run high, feelings run high. Take care of your land. Take care of your business. I'm going to stop it there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this is insightful. Until next time, take care.